and the orb came to others along the way, before finding the stonemason. I jolt awake to the plink, tink, plink of the after rain. It nags away in my mind like a petulant child. Winter's ice teeth have storm-drilled their way through the overhead tiles, letting in this softer flow. Now it meanders through the masonry, searching out the chinks, the offset joints, the looseness, the grooves, spreading out its spindly webbed fingers to prise off the plaster and smothering my breath with its dank, musty hands. Time to take up my morning mantra again. This is not my house, this is not my grain, this is not my tribe, this is not my rain. My rain was sweet, my rain was soft, caressing succulence and slating thirsty crops. It dampened the soil ready for the seed and cradled its drips in the canopies, turning dull rocks into crystal glint glow, dewing up the coats of the fox and the deer, and fluffing the feathers of the pheasant and finch. Even when the black sky silver threaded its warning, and I heard its anger downpouring, I'd step out to engage it, naked, arms outstretched to embrace it. I'd let it pound my skin with its vengeance, till all its fury was spent. I snuff out the withering candle, sit and wait as the pale increase of light dawns in the gap where door should meet floor. Soon enough their orders will bark and we'll march, slithering our clay-ridden bodies down to that grave of a pit. Enough, I throw my slivered blanket over my half-made creation, cover up another hard night's masonry, and shift out into the grey. The rest of this rabble, this rubble of labour, roll out from their cells. We're an ill-fitting mosaic of men, of opposing features and tones, chiselled out of all our cultures, to be moulded as one into this rock-riven earth. The pit already resounds to the click-click of the pick. They are attacking down deep, wrenching out the ancient rock, hacking the underbone of the earth. A slab thuds at my feet, and my hands move in routine, planting iron rods in their ready-drilled holes. All around I hear the clang of mallet on iron. I too take my turn to add to the sound. Though our words may clash in confusion, we all talk the common language of stone. I hammer my blows, not in rush, not in slow, going as fast as the stone wants me to go. It can never be hewn exact to man's hand. Each fracture's unique and veins its own path. As I strike, each metallic rod answers its note. I listen out, catch a repeated low tone, know it's now stuck fast firm, and tune the rest to its pitch, tapping and tinking, dapping and clinking, till the slab finally splits. Now to fashion and face before they haul them. Tap, 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 clink, tap, 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 clink. I build up the rhythm as mallet meets chisel and sends out its song, joining with the percussion of the adze and the pick. I've always heard the call of the stone. I was the boy who delved deep in the dark, crawling through the caverns seeking out ore, sifting through sand as the surf dredged up gems. I'd pick them like flowers, seeking out every colour. Then I'd grind them to size, mill them and drill them and string them with cord. Gave them first to my mother, then for those girls with their smiles and lips and their forbidden hips, which I prized above all, and saved the last for the one who'd be mate. Even in this stagnant pit I can still smell the oil of her silken black hair, and taste on my tongue the sea salt tang of her neck as I removed her necklace that night. That was before they came in their boats, trading their crops and their clothes for our spice and our stones. Then they came back with their swords and their spears, looking for muscle and shackling us men, leaving us nothing in return but our tears. I stare back to these blocks and sense what to remove. Its rectangular form is framed from within. Selecting my chisel, I steady the mallet. Sharp is the blow and steep is the angle that sees the flakes fly faster and fatter. Then with arm low, I pull back the pace, etch into the block, smoothing its face and hone to the finish. Now to leave my mark, the chisel thin cut of a moth, with wings outstretched to reach the sun's cool evening bliss. My memory fills in its false eyes and horns, and its red fringed flashes of flight. I flap my hand onto my chest, touching my matching tattoo, given to me on my naming day. The spirit of the moth was called up for me, for the one who dared to dance too near to the fire. Cave dweller, cliff leaper, flame handler, surf rider, some of the titles the elders handed to me. But now I know why the moth was for me, stuck here in this cocoon of a pit. I'll carve out new wings, and one day they'll flap and fly me upwards towards homeland or death. I know their mortar will soon bury these moth marks that I've made. Under plaster they'll be painted and clad, but so they will silently wait, just as my flesh will soon sleep beneath earth. And when time is added to time, this collapsing empire will cease, and the rot of its corruption will feast. The plaster will fade and crumble to dust, but my mark will outlast all their age. The leader of their pack is striding my way. I busy myself in my task. He once saw my stone knack, and for the favour of my own quarters, he ordered, that I form his son into stone, enthroned as in the fashion of his leaders, who raise their blank, staring profiles as gods. So I was marched to his rooms, where those others like me respond to his call, his shout and his stall, his bite and his bawl. I knew to keep dumb, to utter nothing till summoned to speak. Then I was led to meet with his son, his snipe of a son, his brute-faced fool of a son, who even at 10 imposes his rule on those who aren't of the same colour, status or sex. And when I'm commanded to speak, they enjoy making fun as I mumble half-swallowed words of their tongue. It's like speaking with a mouth full of pebbles and grit, as I try to make their language to fit. I asked for clay and told the boy sit, but the crack of a whip warned me that I'd strayed off the mark. His father gestured him into a pose. He writhed, but knew it was best to obey. I roughly modelled the confines of his face, my mind already turning the image to stone. So since then my nights have been for carving, not sleep, and a week has passed, but I'm still not complete. And there's no hiding place here. He grabs my arm and pulls me out of the shift, marching me roughly back to my door. Then there's a palm slap to my neck and a hiss. I will not wait any more. It comes with hot spit and with the stench of a feast on his breath. Stone cannot be rushed, is all I can say, and beg for more time. But he demands to see it right then. So I pluck an idea clean from the air, clutching at their many holy fear forms. To see an unfinished face is bad luck. It ushers along death. He stops. This is a lie ripe to his taste. I'm shoved back a step. One more day, he shouts as he turns. Inside, I uncover the head of his son, turn his half-formed face to the wall. Now his one eye cannot look around, and his mouth, stuck still in the stone, can never shout out. I've stolen another offcut of stone. Inside, I can only see the face of my son, and one chance to chisel him out before I'm found out. They assume I've been modelling the taskmaster's son with my clay, but it's my son's full face that I mould and talk to each day. Clay is forgiving. It lets me scrape and add back, then scrape off again, which is not the way of the stone. What's done is done and can't be undone. Now is the time for his release, just as our child was fused in the hot glow of our sex and formed in the womb. delivered to us whole. Today he'll be reborn from clay into stone. My eyes flicker back, forth and between from the models to stone, until I sense every shape, every groove, every bump, every smooth, and his form is burnt deep in my sight. I draw out the limit that the chisel can't pass, then clink, clink, slowly I move, carving the channels where his hair is roughed up by surf. I glide on in the smooth, following stone flow, chipping until the tear shards are removed from his eyes, then unfurrow his brows, continuing to carve till cupped ears appear, as he listens for the late-night hiss of the sea. And deep I delve to discover the breathing of sleep. I leave no straight lines, no edge to his skin, as I sculpt out the lips in preparation for sound. At last I strike down, releasing his slender throat as it rises to sing. The chisel sends out a high note, one that's not stone. Gently I tap more away. A golden light streams its way out. I chisel out more until it spills to the floor in the form of an orb. There it pulses, its glow sustained, an embryonic fallen sun. Compelled, a child coaxed to the flame, I reach out, naked hands set fast, braced for the onset scorch of pain. Yet cool this orb is to the touch, and smooth it slips into my skin. Then, as it winks into a spin, clarity floods me from within, like the numb of winter water. It fills my mind with fleeting forms of generations long past, memories of tools and crafts, and those whose work was functional and fair, all told to me in an instant. But unlike a dream, I know that they'll be safely held for all the time that's left to be. Then a glimpse of a time that I don't understand. A stark walled room where someone clothed in white gown transforms hints into spectral visions by the mere motion of their magical fingers. I clasp close the orb, feel its weight, its power to create and unmake. Carefully I take aim, then send it swirling towards that imposter sun. It smashes his face into a myriad of rocks, and I walk out the door, leaving my beloved son to be unveiled in his place.